Hello, and welcome to episode 20 of the Wibbly-Wobbly-Geeky-Weekly podcast. I'm Joe.
And I'm Dave. Stop looking at me in that tone of voice.
Oh, that's what you went with, huh? I thought you were going to go
Yes.
with I'm frozen today.
Well, I was frozen today.
You're an idiot. So what's going on?
Not too much.
Dude, so,
I've been.
how's the saga of the cell phone going?
I finally got a cell phone today that doesn't hold a charge, but it was more about my dad making me get one so he could, keep me on that chain.
Yeah, well,
You know,
if it doesn't keep a charge, it's not much of a chain.
let me do you this way. He's found a new way to bother me when I'm not at home. We were at Denny's the other night, all of us. We were watching Doctor Who. We were playing, dice, cards, and all of a sudden I'm getting Facebook messages after Facebook messages of him just messing with me.
See, that's when I just shut off Facebook and completely ignore it. Oh, wait, I don't have to worry about that. I don't use Facebook. I barely use
Also, I've been finishing up the commercial that is season 3 of Eureka.
with the with degree deodorant.
Yes. Stands up to 1,000,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, brother. So, how about everything else? Everything else going okay, or?
Well, I want to borderline kill my sister for, just being a douchebag, but what am I going to do?
That kind of comes with that particular acre of land, though.
What about you? How have you been?
I've been okay. As you know, my mother's currently in the hospital, but she is doing better. She's hoping to be out by
Tough old
tomorrow
bird.
morning. Yeah,
She'll
70
beat
years
the-
old.
she'll
She's
beat the
got
hell out the
pneumonia. She's
doctor.
got breathing problems. She had a very mild heart attack a few years ago. And at this point, the doctor looked at her. He says, I know you're not going to quit smoking at 70. Do you think you could at least cut down a little bit on it? Yeah, sure.
Your mom is a tough bird. She will beat the hell out of people who just... It's like, change the diagnosis now!
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's like years ago. She's like, I don't feel well. I don't know if I'm going to make it. And I looked at her. I said, Ma, you are too goddamn stubborn to die, so you ain't got nothing to worry about. She actually took that as an insult. Like, no, Mom, that's actually quite the other way around. Like, I will be 105, and you'll be sitting there still yelling at me going, you go first! Oh, God. Tell me I'm wrong.
Probably.
I'm probably wrong, huh?
I'll
Well,
probably die first, and I'm not even a member of your family.
this is true. So, I suppose we should jump into news. What do you think?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Got nothing better to do, right?
Nah.
Well, why don't you go ahead and you jump in first?
My first story is a sad one.
Yes.
Eileen Brennan. You might know her from such movies as Private Benjamin, TV series Private Benjamin. But we know her in all our geekdom from a movie called Clue. She played Mrs. Peacock. Nobody really actually put that down in the news story, but because she was one of the people who actually in one of the endings was the murderer.
That is, to this day, that is one of my all-time favorite movies.
It's one of the best movies. Two of my top 10 favorite movies are Tim Curry movies, and this is one of the two.
Well, just so long as you don't dress up as a sweet transvestite, we're fine.
Next year at the con.
No.
Yes.
No.
I just need to find the right corset, and I need to learn how to walk in heels.
You're going on your own.
I'll just get my own rum, like I did this time.
You're also getting there on your own. He'll be walking.
Would you like to be my Rocky? Put your anal probes away.
No, that's what this is for.
Can we get back on the
Anyway,
subject here?
can we what?
Just just I'd just like to say, I respected the work she did. She was actually in the premiere of a, of one of my favorite characters, uh, Detective Columbo, in Murder by Death, and she will be missed as a character. This, you know what, things are happening in threes right now. Last week it was Dennis Farina. I hope it doesn't come to the three, but it was,
Yeah.
it sucks. She had a rough bout for a couple of years.
Yeah,
After,
we were talking about it while she was still doing Private Benjamin. She had to leave the show due to the fact that she was hit by a car and critically injured. And then while recovering, she became addicted to pain medication and underwent treatment and later developed breast cancer.
hmm.
Wow. Yeah, that's, that's horrible, but thankfully she got through that, got her career back on track, and was in movies like Miss Congeniality too.
Yeah, see, it doesn't help
Nobody's
when people,
perfect.
and it doesn't help when people like you thought she was already dead.
I had heard, you know what? It was one of those. Hey, I had heard the story earlier this year that she had passed away. So, and I never looked into it. Usually I do. This time I didn't, and I actually regret that. Thankfully, we never reported on it. Um, but I didn't know. She also was in Will and Grace. She
Hmm.
played Sean Hayes' formidable acting teacher.
Never watched it.
But I've seen episodes of it. I haven't caught any of hers, but I've seen episodes. It's okay. It's not bad. Not great,
All
but
I
it's
have
not
to
bad.
say about that is a line from what's it called? Weird Al's song. It's a Weird Al song. I only watched Will and Grace one time, and now TiVo thinks I'm gay.
And I'm also putting this in as a story because I can't wait for this. Um, for anybody down in Texas and in adjoining areas, I'll get the exact areas of where these theaters are. There is a new Alamo Draft House opening up, and it is actually going to be fairly close to us. It's going to be in Yonkers, New York. I can't wait for this. I just personally wish they had opened a month earlier because all month long they've been running Godzilla and King Kong and Gamera and all these classic movies. And they're opening literally 4 or 5 days after the marathon is over. I read that and thought I was going to cry. At the moment, the only one I can get is the Yonkers. I know there's several in Texas, but yeah, this I believe is either the 11th or 12th uh, Alamo Draft House. I would definitely suggest going to their website and looking at what they're planning on doing. Um, Anybody who's never seen Singing in the Rain, you're actually going to get a chance to see this in the theaters. They're going to be playing the Two Guns movie. Draft House Films is going to have the act of killing and the band of a band called Death. They're going to be showing Fantastic Mr. Fox again. They do a lot of indie movies. They do a lot of high end movies. They do a lot of classics. Um, like here you go, big screen classics, The Shining, with red rum cocktails.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is the type of stuff they do. If I'm thinking of the correct theater chain, this is the company that does the Butnumathon. The Butnumathon is where they play 24 hours worth of movies. You pay one ticket price. Bring a pillow and a blanket. I have been wanting one of these somewhere near me for years. And also, this is something I love. You know how you go to the movies and you've always got the people going, "Oh, I'm going to play with my phone," or "I'm going to sit here and bullshit." And every once in a while, if it's a bad movie, you can kind of understand why people are talking just a little bit over in the corner, or maybe texting. But like you'll be at a movie and it's a really tense moment, and then somebody's phones go off and they either start texting or talking, and it's annoying as all crap, right?
Hmm.
They have an extremely strict no texting, no talking policy. They will come down and they will throw your ass out of the theater in front of everybody.
I've got so many bad jokes for that.
And like and I absolutely, and you can find this online. I absolutely love their little trailer for the no talking. It is an actual complaint that somebody called into the Alamo after they got tossed. They're like, "How dare you throw me out? Nobody ever said that I couldn't use my phone in your crappy little theater. I live in the United States of America where I'm allowed to text in the movie theater." This goes for like 2 minutes, and this is their public announcement at the beginning of every movie.
Here's
It
the
is
thing.
awesome.
Although we don't, do the whole cell phone thing, but we do talk during movies. We rip them apart a lot of times.
Right, but it also comes down to the movie. If it's, if we're at the Bowtie Cinema and it's one of the classic movies where you're kind of going because you know it's a bad film, but you're glad it's a bad film. It's that type of thing. You
The end of the
go.
month, they're showing Galaxy Quest.
See, that's what you would go to and have some fun with. But now, oh my God. Okay, I'm going to read this about the Shining. Okay. In honor of Jack Nicholson's birthday, we're celebrating one of his greatest, creepiest, and jackiest roles ever.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece about the Torrance family, holed up for the winter as the caretakers of the Overlook Hotel, is intense, stunning, and downright scary. It's full of now classic horror film moments, from all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy to Here's Johnny, Red Rum, and those creepy ass twins. But it never feels cliched or outplayed. It's the kind of horror movie that ages well, the terrifying imagery and sounds only becoming stronger as the years go by. This is vintage Jack from back when he was actually crazy. So grab a hold of something, sit back, and get ready to be entertained and horrified by Kubrick's The Shining. This is the part I wanted to get to. The Shining. Birthday Cake Shake. Celebrate Jack's birthday with a special birthday cake shake. $7. And add two more to jack it up with a shot of Jack Daniels.
Here, there's a small problem with what they said there. They said back when Jack was crazy, he still is.
Oh, not to the extent that he used to be. Not to the extent that he used to be. But I mean, you sit here and look at this. They've got a news section for upcoming stuff. They actually have a online magazine, which is absolutely brilliant. Um, Now, if I'm going to go see At World's End, I would honestly love to make that the first movie we saw there. Um, and one other thing they do is they do the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is awesome. But the smart thing they do is, like, we were there and we knew a few of the callbacks when we were at the con. We didn't know all of them. They put callbacks up on the screen so people know what to say and when to say it. They also hand out props.
Well,
They they also they also put the appropriate callbacks up for movies like The Big Lebowski. I honestly didn't realize that that had become a audience participation. I shouldn't be surprised, but yet I am. That's one we may have to make the trip to Yonkers to the next time that rolls around. Because it's only about an hour and 10 minutes from where I live, so it's not really a horrible departure, you know? But anyway, that's my first bit of news. As long as that was,
Are
I
you
think
sure?
it's your turn.
You done?
Uh, yeah,
All right.
for now, kinda,
Now
maybe.
I got some more bad movie news. Sci-Fi announced this week of a special screening that will be going on this Friday or
No.
August 2nd at midnight or 12:05 at rave cinemas around the country. You'll be able to go to the theaters to see Sharknado, a very bad movie. Doesn't deserve a sequel. Is going to get one, but it's a movie you go to see just for how bad it is.
Yeah, these are the guys that I can't go see The Room.
No,
This movie packs the theater every time because
it's
it is
also boring.
basically it. No, it's not. It's actually the Rocky Horror Picture Show of its genre because it's a horrible, horrible drama. But people kept laughing at it. The director turned around and said, "Yeah, yeah, it was meant to be a dark comedy. Yeah, that's the ticket." No, no, it wasn't. You lying sack of shit. We all know it wasn't. But him and my friend Carlos and my friend George are frightened of this film. It's sad. I actually want to get a paint bucket with yellow and just paint their backs. Because as bad as the Wolverine was, as much as I didn't want to go see it, I still went and bloody saw it.
Still sucks.
Oh, the Wolverine?
I,
Yes, yes it does. The
I
Room?
will
Yes,
not.
yes it does. But
There,
it's fun.
we had the
And
chance to go.
let's
We had,
face it, Rocky Horror Picture Show is a horrible, horrible movie. We
we
all
had.
know that it's a horrible movie, but look how much fucking fun it is.
Yes, it's actually funny. From what I've seen of The Room, it's just
It's hysterical.
very dry. It's like watching a Ray Romano
Here's the
TV show.
problem. You've only seen clips. It's one of these kind of like if you only see clips of Rocky Horror and you've never seen the movie before. You're gonna go, I don't want to go anywhere near this. It's nothing but freaks dressed up, and I don't know what the hell's going on.
You
You've
know
seen
who
like a couple of little clips,
you know
but
who you're talking to, right? I already
uh
am a freak.
yeah, then you should try The Room. If you think you can handle bad movies, you need to watch The Room.
Ugh.
But
Sorry about the noise,
Sharknado,
folks. Huh?
Sharknado, really?
Okay, that one
Really?
scene we saw, we were at the con, where the guy jumping up into the shark's mouth with a chainsaw was hilarious.
And like me and about five other guys during the panel said, guy pops out, where's my goddamn shoe? If you've seen Pacific Rim, you get the reference.
Of course, we all know what the worst part about.
Sadly, only about 8 people have seen Pacific Rim, so
Of course, we know what the worst part about that panel was. That picture that was up there the entire time.
what was wrong with Jar Jar and Avanala?
It was tasteful nudity.
Yeah, if any of that was in any way, shape, or form tasteful.
Misa say two in the pink. What? Oh,
Oh, god damn it. You need to be punched in the head for that.
probably.
No, there's no probably involved in that.
Uh, you have the next story, my friend.
Oh, you. Ugh. All right. My next story is actually about Karen Gilliam.
Eh, I've heard about her. I heard she had red hair.
She did well. She still does, but
Oh, it's just not on her head.
it's not even remotely where I was going with that. You need to now poke yourself in the eye for me because I can't get to you.
I'm a horrible person.
Yes, yes, you are. Um, Basically, people are saying stop getting mad at James Gunn because she shaved her head. Nebula is a bald character. Karen Gillian shaved her head. because she's going to be playing a bald character. Um, and basically, people are like, oh, James Gunn forced her to shave her head. And basically, he had said from the get go anybody who's going to play Nebula was going to be shaving their head because a bald cap looks fake when seen up close over and over again. I mean, this is not, I mean, even as recently as, let's say, the last episode of Smallville, when Lex Luthor came back for the one episode. Hey, did anybody else notice that was a bald cap he was wearing? He was only in it for 2 shots, and it was pretty damned obvious. You know why? Because he was wearing a fucking bald cap, and it was pretty goddamn obvious.
But you gotta admit,
even in a major motion picture, there are times where you can see just the seams, or you might get a little bump or something where the hair might have gotten messed up when they put it on there, so their head looks uneven. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
But the thing about that, though, with Michael Rosenbaum, for the entire time he was on the show before, he shaved his head for the part.
Oh yeah, he did. You could tell by the
shaved.
You could
as
you
long
could
as he was playing.
yeah you could tell that he shaved by the few days that he had missed, because every once in a great while there'd be a shot from behind, and he'd have that little bit of stubble. Like, Michael didn't shave this morning. Oh, shut up.
What?
Oh, speaking of which, if you want to get dirty, go look up Dr. Mario with lyrics. Just trust me, it's Brental Floss. by the way, if you guys haven't heard of Brental Floss, go look him up. He is hysterical. He takes video game music and adds lyrics to them. And some of them are just really, really wrong. Basically, he took the theme from Tetris. Basically, wrote a song about how that video game is essentially made for girls. Just go listen to it; it's awesome. But yeah, basically, all I've got to say about this story is, really, if you're upset that she shaved her head, wait a couple of months. Her hair will grow back. That's about as stupid as when I forgot her name. Hermione. What's her Emma Watson.
I would know. I don't watch Harry Potter.
See, Philistine. But yeah, when she had that long hair and she cut it and had that little pixie look. People were like, oh my god, why did you do that? Because she had to pretty much keep her hair exactly the same since she was 11 years old. She probably wanted to do something different. Really? You're gonna get pissed at her because she cut all her hair off? Because how dare she? Same with Karen Gilliam. She wanted to be in the movie. She did that on her own, and God bless the woman for doing it. Anyway, your turn.
All right. I actually had news about a couple of events coming up. One of them you already know about. August 22nd through the 25th, RKO Con. We met these guys at Kineticon. Yes. These are the Shadowcasters, called the RKO Army. They are going to, August 22nd through the 25th in Providence, Rhode Island, where they will be doing Rocky Horror Picture Show, Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog.
Shock Treatment.
Repo,
the Genetic Opera.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I'm not seeing really anything else other than, clips from them doing their shtick.
They'll probably do Serenity there, I think they said. Because they debuted it. Well, that's the thing. They debuted it at Kineticon. I believe they said something during their Q&A that they would possibly be running it there. which got to admit that was pretty damn fun.
Mm. Second event is August 16th to the 18th. Going to be in Warwick, Rhode Island. Called the Geeky Kink event in New England. This is for all you freaky geeks like myself. I've been looking at the workshops, and it's. I'll see you later, Alan.
I'm scared now.
Joe.
I'm wired up here. I'm frightened.
Yes, you're stuck here.
Uh,
For all you freaks out there, check it out. Go to geekykinknewengland.com. You can get all their workshop panels and stuff that are going to be going on. And, oh, interesting. My Little Pony bondage. That's just okay. Hey.
no.
Hey, there's a fetish for everything.
Yet he won't go to the room, folks.
Hey,
Well,
I do have my standards.
like I said,
Go to the website, check these places out. RKO.con and GeekyKinkEventNewEngland.com. You, sir, are next.
very cool. My next story is going to be about Colby Smothers. We already know that she's going to be playing her character from her character from the Avengers. Who, wow, her name just flew out of my head. Her character's name.
Maria Hill.
Thank you. And I'm supposed to be the comic book.
What would you do without me?
Probably not talk about the story.
Hey, you brought it up.
Yeah, this is true. No, but how Maria Hill is going to be in, at least as of the moment, she is written into the Avengers: Age of Ultron, and about how she's returning to Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This story is from Slice of Sci-Fi. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. This one is from comicbookmovie.com. This is what happens when you've got 18 different windows open. Colby Smulders spoke with Crave Online while promoting How I Met Your Mother's final season and discussed reprising her Maria Hill, her role. Yeah, the way this sentence is written is ridiculous. Discussed reprising her role as Maria Hill. Well, I'm rewriting it for them. In Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and possibly in the Avengers: Age of Ultron. Confirming that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s whereabouts during Iron Man 3 will be addressed in The Winter Soldier, the actress says it's an entirely different movie from the Avengers. It's very much reality-based, and they try to bring the characters into the world of now. He was very much affiliated with S.H.I.E.L.D., so watching that dynamic play out is what the movie is. He's working very closely with Romanoff, the Scarlett Johansson character, in other words, the Black Widow. So
Romanoff.
That's the pairing to focus on. Crave Online also managed to get Colby Smulders' reaction to Joss Whedon's The Avengers sequel title, Age of Ultron. I don't know much about Ultron, she says. I have some reading to do, but I'm excited. This is the mystery of Marvel. I don't know how Maria Hill is affiliated with the Avengers sequel, but we'll see. I'm excited to read the script if it comes my way. So, basically, we know she's in Captain America. That pretty much seals it right there. We've been hearing that she was, but this is a nice little confirmation. I'd like to see her in the second Avengers movie. And I'd like to see her become a regular cast member on S.H.I.E.L.D. How about you?
Yeah, it could work. She could be the person, that reins in Coulson, after whatever happens.
Yeah.
Keeps the reins on him.
Well, obviously for the first season, she's only going to be like a reoccurring here and there because she's still finishing up on How I Met Your Mother. What I would like to see is season 2, her become the regular cast member on there,
Hmm.
because How I Met Your Mother will be done, which means Allison Hannigan and PH and all of them will have to go look for work.
Well, Allison Hannigan can work for me.
No, she doesn't like to work from home.
Okay. Uh,
See, now she's one
uh,
I'd love to see join the guild. Her and Felicia Day together,
um,
and I could see the hamster trying not to jump the track there.
no.
Yeah.
Just bring in Tink in there. Yeah, Tink.
Okay, Tank. I'm going to say, really? You're into Disney characters? Never mind.
No!
Wrong
You
Tank.
know, the Elf Archer
Yeah, I know what you mean now.
Guild. All right, my next story is a big one. It was announced this weekend and it's official. John Williams will officially score episode 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
About bloody time.
And as you can tell, we are both mildly upset about this. I don't think
No,
it's a good
no, no,
idea.
no, 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 no,
I
no,
don't think
no.
it's a good idea. I think they should get somebody else.
Like who?
Like Danny Elfman.
No, Burt Bacharach.
How about Burt Bacharach and Danny Elfman?
Quincy
No,
Jones.
obviously. Jesus. Yeah, why don't we throw Randy Newman in there while we're at it? Even though he wasn't a musician and he's dead. But, no, in all seriousness, it's like I can't see anybody else doing the music. Someday, sadly, that's going to happen,
Mm.
but not yet. He wants to do it. They want him to do it. Awesome. I am extremely happy about that. Um, I I'm very very curious as to what he's going to bring to the table this time around. If obviously we're going to hear Leia's theme and Luke's theme, I'm wondering what new pieces we're going to hear this time.
Oh, that's horrible.
What?
I just came across some bad news.
Do we want to hear it?
Maybe. Well, it seems that the Syphilis channel, Sci-Fi, has ordered several pilots to be given a green light for several pilots. 2 in specific. Pilot based on the classic movie 12 Monkeys.
Already fail. Please continue.
The second one is a pilot called Dominion, based on the movie Legion. I saw that movie. It was so horrible. It didn't even deserve. Oh, it's like Sci-Fi want they get rid of good shows to put this crap. They're going to be known as the fucking B.
Why do you think they're known as the Syphilis channel?
They're going to be known as the fucking B and D. Okay, I understand. They got the Sharknado thing. And it's cute for a while, but you don't want to go straight to doing nothing but Bruce Campbell movies. No offense to Bruce Campbell. No offense to Bruce Campbell, but those caliber of movies and TV.
No, because then they'd be doing stuff like Burn Notice.
Alien Apocalypse.
Yeah. Man with 2 brains.
But yeah, Legion sucked. Okay, you've got a fallen angel and a second coming of Christ.
You know what? I can't say one way or the other whether it's good or not. I haven't watched it. I haven't necessarily heard a lot of good things about it.
The general story behind it is an angel is sent to Earth to kill this woman's, or prevent her from having her child before December 25th. That's at the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
Gee, I wonder who the kid's going to be. Um. Anyways, God says, you know what? Fuck this. I don't want to save the world, and orders a, since this angel that fell to earth cut off his wings, became mortal, wants to protect the kid. God sends legions of angels to kill 6 people in a restaurant. That's right. A whole legion of angels to kill 6 people. Just human people.
Well, come on, haven't they seen Dogma? It really only takes 2.
Dogma was a lot better.
That's saying something.
And with a less budget.
Yeah.
You don't need money to make a good movie.
Depends on who you're talking to.
Explosions either, Michael Bay.
Well, do you want to jump into all of our Flash stuff?
Fine.
Jump into
Flash.
the TV announcement, and then we'll review Flashpoint.
All right. Well, apparently, there's going to be a Flash TV series.
Yay!
It'll be the character Barry Allen will be introduced through the next season of Arrow, and will eventually build up to his own, series. Now, I was a big fan of the early '90s version of the Flash.
So was I, as corny as it was awesome.
Yes, it was really corny. I just loved seeing Mark Hamill as the Trickster because, you got the Trickster and the Joker all rolled up into one. I love, just his bits. Like, he's playing him, doing a magician's trick. He pulls a dead rabbit out of a hat. He's like, "Oop, don't know my own string." And he's doing this whole Rocky and Bullwinkle shit.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Funny as hell.
See, I like when he's the judge in the courtroom and he's got the Flash under his power.
The final episode,
Not the way you wanted that series to go out, but at the same time,
Amanda
it's Mark
Page.
Hamill.
Amanda Page was really sexy in that show.
Yeah.
Especially that Bad Girl episode where she starts living out Barry's dreams. That was a good.
Yes.
You had a couple of rogues pop up. One was mentioned. They had a mention of Gorilla Grodd, but he wasn't a gorilla. He was a gorilla.
He was actually
style,
a gorilla. Yeah.
Gorilla style fighter. You had Captain Cold. It was a really awesome, well done show.
It had enough of the cheesiness to go along with it to make it fun, though.
It wasn't like over cheesy like Batman was, although Batman was fun. 60s Batman.
Oh yeah. Oh, but you know what brought a lot of it to it, a lot of charm to it too, was the 2 cops.
Yeah.
Especially the one where one thought the older one was the Flash.
The one with the mustache, and even though the Flash doesn't have a mustache, you think.
Yeah, it was.
It was just so.
It
And then he showed up at that costume party.
Yeah.
I'm the Flash.
It genuinely had some brilliant moments to it. It really did.
And there was good character. There was actually decent character development.
Yep.
I like the fact that he went into the whole thing because a revenge. That's the way it always is, basically. Family member, friend, whatever gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that his powers didn't always work the way he wanted them either.
Right.
Especially in that first episode of the pilot movie. He was getting his ass handed to him.
I was going to say, throughout the entire series, his powers would break down on occasion.
Yeah.
Which I like that very much as well.
Best line in the entire series. Megan Lockhart, the PI who figured out he was the Flash.
Yes.
He kisses her, and she says, "Wait, don't tell me it's over already."
Yeah. Yeah, it was a hell of a lot of fun. But yeah, this one is going to be. They're going to introduce Barry Allen in the last three episodes of next season of Arrow, and basically the season finale is basically going to be a backdoor pilot.
Back
Um, yeah, so I've tried watching Arrow. I understand a lot of people like it. It's not a bad series. To me, he's not the Arrow. We've had this discussion before. To me, basically, well, I can't be Batman because he's black and has all that cool stuff. I'll be Robin Hood, wear green, use the bow and arrow since that Chinese guy taught me how to do it. What is the Flash gonna do? Well, they got that crap. I can kind of run fast. I'll wear red and be Flash Bat. I mean, that's the problem with Arrow is he wants to be Batman but can't. Flashman, there you go. He's gonna beat somebody up and then be like, "I'm the goddamn Flash," and then take off. You know, why he's suddenly written by Frank Miller, I have no idea. But
Well, actually, the pilot is being written by Jeff Johns. Pilot series.
you mean Jeff Jones? Okay. Um, I mean, I hope it works. I really do. I can't say I'm going to tune into Arrow to watch those particular episodes though, because I can't bring myself to watch it because
You know, even like people like Ralph Garman says, you know, it's not his Green Arrow, but the show is good.
there you go. There you go. That's why I've never once said it's a bad show. I don't think it's a bad show by any stretch. He's not my version of the character that I would have wanted seen brought to television. I prefer the one that we saw in like the Justice League and the Justice League Unlimited, or even in Young Justice. In Young Justice, he's got a couple of really funny damn lines too, like when you got Superboy fighting Black Canary, and then they kiss. Green Arrow, wait, what? And transforms into Megan. And he starts laughing, and Black Canary's like, "That's not funny." And he goes, "Actually, it is a little bit." You know. Plus, he's being voiced by Wash, which didn't hurt any. That and their secret entrance at one point was the TARDIS.
I'm a leaf on the wind.
Yes, you managed in one scene in Teen Titans. You managed to get a Doctor Who and Firefly reference, as well as them beating up on DC's version of Spider-Man at the beginning of that particular episode.
Oh yeah,
So
that's a real character. I looked up. I was like, I've never heard of this. Oh my god! And it was voiced by the actor who did
yep.
Spider-Man and Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yes.
Too. So that made it even worse.
So that just means everybody was in on the joke. That's all. But yeah, that's all I got for the it coming to TV. I don't know about you. If you've got anything else about. Oh, he will be wearing the. According to this, he will be wearing the classic suit, and
Cool.
it will be Barry Allen, as I said.
Let's see. I don't think I have any other flashy news.
No other flashy news.
No other flashy news. Shall we get into our other flashy stuff?
Sure. Please don't flash me. Whatever the hell you're thinking.
No. Well, we thought it might be nice since it came out today, to spoil something for you. By the way, if you're going to if you haven't seen it yet, you're interested in watching it first, turn us off.
Yeah, and we'll see you next week.
The hell out of this.
You know what? Why don't we just real quick, for people who are going to shut it off now, so it doesn't get spoiled? Why don't we give them the info and where they can reach us, Dave?
Well, they can reach us at wobblypod.com. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. wobblypod@yahoo.com or at gmail.com. We have our Facebook page, wobblypod. And I guess we have Twitter too, but nobody really fucking cares.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nobody tells us how good or bad we are. I wouldn't care if you told us we should go shove something up somebody's rectal area.
Ah,
That would be entertainment for YouTube, would it?
yeah, probably. I think they might enjoy that too much.
All right. Why don't we actually? All
But
right.
yeah, basically, anybody who's leaving now, we'll see you again next week. For everybody else, like I said, we're going to spoil the holy living hell out of this thing.
Well, it's not
So,
exactly. They don't have to leave. They can just pause it, watch it, come back. We are going to be reviewing Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox.
which in the comic book format was basically the lead in to the New 52. Which, if you're paying attention at the end of the movie, you do notice a couple of changes when everything is
Like,
said and done. But
like
we'll get
Flash.
into that when we get there.
Um, movie starts out. Got young Barry and his mother on the side of a highway. Barry's being a little impatient little bastard. Why don't they slow down? His mother keeps telling him, you can't change people. You should concentrate on the things you can change and not the things you can't change. You cut to maybe, I'm not sure, maybe a few months later. Barry's coming home. Young Barry's coming home and he finds his mother dead in the house, murdered.
Yeah.
Um,
And looked like it was done fairly violently as well.
Very violent. That's another thing about this movie. It was, it had a lot of violence in it.
Do not let your children watch this movie.
This was PG-13, and I thought, God damn, really?
This is on the violence level of the Wonder Woman film.
Cut away a little later. You've got Barry at his mother's grave, giving her, putting some flowers on her grave, and he's there with Iris, and he suddenly gets a, Justice League alert. Presses the button on his ring, gets into costume, heads over to the Flash Museum, where he's attacked by pretty much everybody in his rogues gallery, or a lot of them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Captain Cold, Top, Captain Boomerang, Mirror Master. Trying to remember, is there anybody else?
Yeah, I think that's it, actually.
All right.
Mirror Master, you said that?
Yep. Yeah, there were just four.
Okay.
Until, they get them all cornered, or they get Flash cornered. They squirt some weird, thing that adheres him to the wall, so he can't get out.
Mm-hmm.
Then Reverse Flash shows up. Really, runs around, shows up, says, we're going to kill you. I paid them. They have no ambition. They're profiteers. They do this for money. I actually hate you. I have a purpose.
Yeah, and even they're kind of going, really?
He, when he came in real fast, he actually put bombs on the belts of the rogues.
Yep.
So Flash, thinking rather quickly, decides to use his speed to basically get some of the, adhesive off of him and adhere to Reverse Flash. So he's stuck in there with a bomb too.
Yeah, and basically he's like, yeah, oh well,
Like,
so I'll go with you.
As long as I get you.
I don't give a damn. As long as you're dead, I don't give a shit.
Then Justice League shows up. They all grab each rogue, take them to separate areas.
Well, who was it who showed up? You had Cyborg, Green Lantern,
Cyborg, Green Lantern,
Bats,
Batman, Aquaman,
Superman, and
Superman.
Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Green Lantern and Batman take one up to the, I think it was
Into the atmosphere.
into the atmosphere. Batman diffuses it the way he does.
Yeah.
Superman takes Mirror Master out in the middle of nowhere, basically holds his hand over the explosive and just lets it detonate.
Yeah. Doesn't Aquaman toss him in the ocean and have
Aquaman
germs
tosses
eat
the
it?
top into the water and has millions and millions of microbots or micro organisms diffuse it for him.
Yeah, I kind of had a little bit of a problem with that one, but I let it go because it's a comic book cartoon.
I don't see a real problem. They are aquatic.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, not the controlling it, just would they have had the time?
Um,
That's
and
my
finally,
only.
Wonder Woman takes Captain Cold away and uses his own cold gun to freeze his belt. Shatter it. Shatter it off of him and toss it up into the air, blowing it up.
Right.
All of them are diffused. Everybody is saved. And Flash, starts basically, regretting, stuff he can't change.
Right.
This is one of my problems. Where you don't see him go back in time to save his mother. It just next thing you just see him wake up the next day.
Yep.
You see him run really fast, and then he wakes up, at work the next day. He wakes up, everything is wrong. There's war. Nobody's heard of the Flash. There's this huge war between Atlantis and Themyscira. There's, just his mother is alive.
Yeah, no idea why.
Yeah, we don't. There's no real explanation though how he saved her or whatnot. He doesn't have his powers either. Because he tries to run. He falls flat on his ass. He tries to tell his mom that he's the Flash, which is really funny. And she's like, who?
Mm-hmm.
So he can't understand what's going on. He can't contact nobody. So he goes to the most logical place he knows that he can get some answers. He goes to Wayne Manor to talk to Batman. But when he gets... Oh, actually, I missed the scene. There was Cyborg talking to Batman, trying to recruit Batman, who uses guns, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This version of Batman, and he's got the Shazam. It's a holographic meeting.
Yeah,
Cyborg is there, and he uses his holographic projector, and you got the Shazam kids.
Shade.
Yep.
Sandman. He's trying to recruit Batman, the best. He even calls him the best tactician in the world. To help them, but he's like, screw that. I don't need to. And this version of Gotham City looks like it's straight out of a Nolan verse. Neon everywhere. Not Nolan verse. I mean Schumacher. I'm sorry. Then you got Barry in the cave, and he notices something's not right, and Batman proceeds to beat the ever-loving shit out of him to the point where he breaks 2 of his fingers.
Yeah.
We realize this isn't.
I apologize. I don't know if you mentioned it or not, but we did kind of miss this Batman's version of Harley Quinn as well. Which leads into Cyborg coming in for the meeting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what she was called, but that was definitely meant to be the.
I just called her Yo-Yo because that was her weapon.
Yeah, that was her name, Yo-Yo. But it was basically this version of the Harley Quinn.
And
I apologize. Go ahead.
No problem. Now you've got Batman beating up on beating up on Barry, saying, because Barry says, Bruce, stop it. And he keeps saying the word Bruce, and it's really pissing off Batman.
Yeah.
Because we find out that
This is Thomas.
this is Thomas Wayne that is Batman, not Bruce. It was actually Bruce who had died in the alley that night. Which you see later on, the flashes of the different things that happen that cause, like, I don't understand why, but it creeped me the hell out that after, okay, Bruce gets shot, Thomas beats the ever-loving hell out of the guy who shot him, and he turns around. Martha has blood on her hands, puts it over her mouth in shock, and starts Joker laughing. Like she was, with Smilex gas. No explanation for that. They mention the Joker, but there's just...
Yeah, that's really all you need. There may have been more of that in the comic, but I haven't read it.
Yeah.
So, but it's still a cool little. As creepy as it is, it's very cool.
Especially since the smile was blood.
Yeah.
The Joker smile was, Bruce's blood. So you've Flash says, no, you got to listen to me. My ring. Look. There's my ring. It's got my suit in it. I can prove it. That's who I am. Presses the button, and Reverse Flash's costume comes out.
Yeah.
Because, he just wants to fuck with him, to let him know, look what you did. Batman, believes him and decides he's going to help him because Bruce is alive in his timeline. And he has that father, moment where he will sacrifice himself, his timeline, to make sure his son stays alive. Now, Barry, since he doesn't have his powers, decides we're going to recreate the accident that made me.
The first time does not go well.
No. Basically, they go outside. They've strapped a bunch of chemicals to a wooden chair that looks like an electric chair, which it kind of is. They strap him down with the chemicals all around, extend a lightning rod, and they let the lightning hit, and basically it sets Barry on fire to the point where he is extra crispy.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Third-degree burns. He looks like the mummy afterward. He's wrapped in so much bandages.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
It was disgusting and, messed up.
And again, this is PG-13 for a reason, people.
Now we cut to Europe, where Lex Luthor and Slade are looking for the Atlantean forces. They used this massive weapon that basically sunk France, for lack of a better term. It should be mentioned that they said they sent Captain Atom out there earlier, but he never returned. They find the fleet, Aquaman's fleet, and a huge battle ensues, which ends up with basically Atlantis winning because they killed everybody.
Yeah, they managed to kill Clancy Brown and Ron Perlman.
That wasn't Clancy Brown doing Lex.
That wasn't.
No, that was Stephen Bloom.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? Wow, he sounds a lot like Clancy Brown.
Guy
in the
who does
role.
the voice of Wolverine.
Yep, you're right. He does sound a hell of a lot like Clancy Brown in the role, though. But
They killed Clayface.
oh, that was actually kind of brutal.
Yeah, Clayface. All these metahumans, that were villains, are working for the government. Slade gets killed. Oh God.
They
Poor
just shoot Luthor in the face.
Yeah, they shoot him in the face, and I like his last reaction. At least I know it was right.
Yeah.
He took that death really well.
Yeah, he took it better than most would.
Cut back to the Batcave. Barry wakes up screaming, obviously. I don't know why he's screaming because he's burnt every nerve ending in his body.
Yeah, you shouldn't be feeling that. You should be going, I feel kind of numb. Why can't I feel whatever it is I think I'm laying on?
Batman's sitting there trying to sedate him, and Barry says, "We try again." Oh, actually, it should be said that he's actually too having dreams or hallucinations. His time stream is being, or in his head is being interrupted with the new time stream. So he's getting information about this new timeline, like Clark's ship, crashing to Earth, but not in Smallville.
Right.
The reason there's a war between Themyscira and Atlantis because Arthur showed up on Themyscira and fucked Wonder Woman. His wife got pissed.
Yeah, his wife was not happy about that.
Yeah, she's not happy about that. Got pissed. Called out Diana on it and got her head chopped off, which started a war. Arthur said, "You fucking killed my wife. I will kill you all."
He's like, you killed my wife. Yeah, but you fucked me. I don't care.
It's like,
Obviously, that's never outright said, but it's pretty much
my name is
alluded
Arthur.
to.
You killed my wife. Prepare to die.
Yes. For kids.
Yes. So they try the experiment again, and this time it takes. There's a bit of an explosion, and Thomas, I almost said Bruce. Thomas gets knocked off the building and is about to be impaled by the fence below. And Barry catches him. He's still got his, he's still fucked up skin-wise, but, he's got a bit of a healing factor that kicks in a little later.
Yeah.
Now you see, I don't know if I skipped over this part, but Wonder Woman and a bunch of Amazons chasing down a man that we know is Steve Trevor. Now, they use the lasso of truth to find out that he's there to get Lois Lane, because she's working with Cyborg, to gather intel for the Resistance, or the surface dwellers or whatnot. And after that, she kills him in the most brutal hanging I've ever seen.
Yeah.
She has the lasso around his neck and proceeds to fly up, and he slowly asphyxiates until his nose and his eyes are bulging and his nose starts bleeding. It is messed up.
It's an extremely dark moment. And Wonder Woman's done some dark things.
And this is the guy in the alternate universe is her, love interest.
Yeah, and in the normal DC universe, yes.
Yes. Let me see Lois Lane reporting. Amazons are chasing her with a Cerberus. And all of a sudden, all these Amazons get taken out in a yellow streak. She doesn't know who it is, but the Wildcats show up. No, just kidding.
That would have been awesome.
Just one of the Wildcats show up.
Followed by the Hawkmen.
Huh?
Followed by the Hawkmen.
Dive! And Etrigan,
awesome.
and I forgot that guy from Wildcats' name, because I never really watched or read any of the Wildcats.
Oh, I absolutely love this character.
You forgot his name too.
Yeah, no, I want to call him Griff, and that's not it. Grifter is one of my favorite characters from Wildcats. Either find the books, and I mean the Wildstorm books, because the little bit they've done with the DC is not quite as good.
I remember watching the series a little bit, the animated series.
Yep. I was going to say,
younger.
the series was definitely more kid-friendly than the comic was. Because the comic, yeah, this is during the 90s when everything was huge guns and lots of blood and gore, and he was a violent motherfucker in those books.
Like I said, you got Etrigan there. He starts, he all of a sudden he wanted peanut. No more rhyming now. I mean it.
Yes.
Yes, he starts rhyming, and Lois is like, "That's gonna get old fast."
Yeah, and Lois, we should mention, is also voiced by Dana Delaney again.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear her back in the role.
So Flash has got his powers back. Him and Batman go out to meet with his contact, which happens to be Cyborg. Now, he has, because of his memory coming back, he's like, "Well, what about Clark? What about Superman?" And they go looking, or they ask Cyborg to basically hack the government to find out what happened to this. Well, what they thought was a meteor that crash landed in Metropolis when it was actually Clark's ship. They find out where he is. There's this government facility in Metropolis. Flash takes him out real quick. The guards. Mm-hmm. They walk in. There's Clark's ship, a bunch of test tube thing. I saw the first skeleton. I thought, oh my god, they killed Crypto. There's a dog.
You know what?
Skeleton.
You're not the only one who thought that.
There was a dog skeleton there. I'm like, oh my god, Crypto. They get to this giant door with the Superman's shield. Open it up, and huddled in the corner is anorexic Superman.
He's not kidding here, folks, either. Oh my god, that poor bastard was so skinny.
It looks like he's been deprived by food. They've kept him under red sun lamps. He is extremely thin and nasty looking. Cyborg says, "We're going to get you out of here, friend."
And the first thing Superman does is he sees them walk in and he just flinches.
Yeah, he gets into a corner fetal position.
They've been torturing him. They've been beating him.
They've been testing on him.
But again, because of what Flash said, he is their best hope.
He says, "We got to get him out into the sunlight." He's like, and Batman's like, "This guy's the strongest thing on the planet." Really?
Yeah.
So they get him outside. They're like, he's like, "It's so beautiful." The government has shown up with all their guns and weapons and all sorts of stuff, and they start shooting. Yeah. Now
this is the only scene I actually have a problem with. But go
I
ahead.
kind of have a problem with it too, because Batman is just standing there. What was he, hiding behind Cyborg?
Kind of.
Flash just goes in, disarms all their weapons, makes them fall to pieces.
Well, they also had some ground troops there too. I think Batman was kind of dealing with them.
They had some ground troops that showed up, like one that tried to shoot a RPG into Cyborg's back, and Superman caught it.
No.
All of a sudden, he starts to fly. Which
this is my problem.
How does he know how to fly?
Well, it's not the how. It's the he did not get nearly enough power from the sun to be able to do this. He would have had to have been out there at least 4 or 5 hours. And I know that I understand. It's only an hour and 15-minute long movie. You can't really take the time to say, well, we need to let him sit here and absorb some sunlight. So you move it ahead a little bit. Kind of like what they did in Man of Steel. You kind of got to move it ahead a little bit.
My kind of explanation to go with that is, you remember Superman Batman Apocalypse? Kara had showed up.
Yeah.
And it was dark. It was, nighttime in Gotham City, and she was using heat vision and flying.
Right, but even then she was slowly gathering it together. that still took the course of 2 or 3 hours
No, not
from the
really.
beginning of that scene.
No,
Chronologically, from the beginning of that scene, that whole thing kind of took 3 hours. So,
no, because the ship it crashed. Batman was underwater. She took his boat, and
right,
he went after her right
right.
away.
And then she gets to the dock, and from there, she's wandering around and then does this. Then it cuts over here, and then she's running down. Then she's doing that. That actually had spread out over the course of about 3.5 hours, according to the creative team. So she had, and slowly things start happening. She accidentally at one point lets the I beams go, and then she just kind of unintentionally floats away and doesn't realize what's going on. Where in this, Superman has been out there for less than a minute, grabs this thing, flies up, and starts shooting things with his I beams.
Well, he couldn't control
He
that
couldn't
either.
control it, but he shouldn't have had that power immediately. Is my point. If it had been, hey, they get him out of the cave and then fade away, and then fade back and say maybe an hour, 2 hours later, I could have gone with that. I really could have. I would have given them that leeway.
Yeah. So Superman basically starts using his heat vision, incinerating people.
Again, this is definitely one of the. It's a different universe. I'm not going to hold it against him this time.
Mhm.
It's not like he's in our world and snapping people's necks.
Not to mention he had been tortured for 30 years at least.
Exactly. He wasn't raised by Mom and Pa Kent.
Um, and he flies off, leaving. Well, we're screwed.
Yeah, I
Suicide
like that.
mission, anybody? We're
Everybody
going.
looks up. You can see the look on Barry's face. He's kind of like, well, we're fucked. What's next?
Um, cut away, and we get our first, sight of Hal Jordan. Um, now,
Later
because
on,
of what's
Hal
happening,
has my absolute favorite line in this movie.
because of what's happening in England and Europe, they want to send Hal in with this alien ship they found years ago. Um, turns out, it belongs to oh shit, I forgot his name. Abensor. There we go.
Yes.
And they've got him locked in his dead carcass locked in a freezer near the ship. Now they want Hal to fly the alien ship to drop a payload on the Atlanteans. General Lane just fucking hates him because he's so cocky and an asshole.
Yep.
But they were talking about the last thing he said before he could die was "Beware my power," and his ring flew away. Like, really? His ring flew away? You're gonna fly an alien spaceship, and you're worried about the ring? Good point.
Good point. As we'll understand if you're not frightened. And he goes through this whole thing. He's like, I'm about to fly an alien spaceship. I have no idea what I'm doing. Do I look like I'm frightened? And meanwhile, the whole time
And
looks
I
like
was like,
he's trying to fight off a big smile where he's like, "Go fuck yourself! I can't wait to get my hands onto this thing."
he's kind of like I always knew I was meant for something big.
There you go.
Why would I be frightened? So he flies this over the ocean, overseas, finds Aquaman, he's about to drop the payload. He's having so much fun to fly in this thing. It's awesome. But he says, "Beware my power, assholes." That's
And it's Nathan Fillion doing the
Nathan
voice
Fillion
as
saying,
well.
"Beware my
So
power."
you've got Nathan Fillion going, "Beware my power, assholes."
And then gets swallowed by a sea monster.
It's right up there with Randy Quaid's last line at the end of IG4. He's flying that plane straight up into the spaceship and
Hi,
goes,
boy.
"Hi, boys, I'm back." It's kind of that same type of delivery.
Um, but as he's about to deliver the payload, he gets swallowed by a sea monster and it blows up inside.
Took out the sea monster, though.
Yes, so Aquaman saw it coming and swallowed him. Adams, wait, that didn't come out right.
Rephrase. I don't
Uh,
want Aquaman swallowing anybody.
Now they're about to go on a suicide mission. They've got the Shazam kids, and they've
Become
got
Captain Thunder instead of
wait,
Captain Marvel.
that comes later. They're on a plane right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. My apologies.
They were taking the plane overseas, because Flash had made a joke about, you think we'll all fit in the Bat plane? It's like, and you see them flying the corporate jet over there for Thomas Wayne's casino.
Yes.
See, the thing about Thomas Wayne being Batman, he lacks the imagination Bruce did.
Well, I think he also lacks the money at this point.
Yeah, he spends it all on booze. He has a fully stocked bar on the plane.
Yes.
Well, they arrive during, as the war between Atlantis
Escalates.
and the Amazon is at a head. They are basically, you got Aquaman and his troops, for some stupid reason, walk into a kill box.
Yeah.
And get ambushed.
I'm gonna put this entire battle very succinctly. You get the kids become Captain Thunder and fight Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman beats Captain Thunder, makes them say the word Shazam. She gets a mild electrical shock from it, then turns around and sees 12 kids. Decides to go and kill children.
Yes. Slits their throats.
You have, which is one of my favorite scenes, Grifter and Batman working together, and he goes, "Hey, this is kind of awesome. I could have made an awesome sidekick for you." He's, "Oh yeah, Batman and the dumbass." Batman gets shot in the back. Grifter gets shot in the head with an arrow. Flash gets his ass kicked all over town by everybody. Cyborg gets literally everything ripped apart.
To the point where his heart is
Aquaman.
exposed.
And then skinny ass the Scarecrow shows up, otherwise known as Superman, and shoots Aquaman's arm off. This is not necessarily in any particular order, mind you. This is just the shit that's going on all over the place. And then Wonder Woman comes up and stabs Aquaman in the back. It's just so much going on that if we tried to take our time with it, we'd be here for a full 2 hours.
And the whole thing is, she's pissed off at him mainly because she's a jilted lover.
Yes, and
you never loved me.
And he's like, "You killed my wife." She goes, "Well, she attacked me, but you're wearing her headdress like a trophy." She goes, "No, it's a warning." She's like, "Fuck you." And then hits a button that basically takes who looked like Nuclear Man. I don't think we ever touched on that.
That I had brought up earlier that Captain Adam had been gone missing.
Okay, that's right.
And they were actually using him as a power source for a doomsday weapon.
And they decide to blow his ass up. Meanwhile, Flash has been getting his ass handed to him by Captain Zoom. Or
Reverse Flash.
Reverse Flash. Whatever. And then, to the point where he shoots Flash in the leg, and it's revealed that Zoom has been taken.
He didn't shoot him in the leg. He jammed a piece of rebar through it.
Oh, that's what it was. Excuse me. But he's sitting there. He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Again, hey, we're both gonna die, but at least I know you're gonna go first.
And it's all your fault."
And he goes, "This is all your fault." He's like, "What are you talking about? If you hadn't gone and saved your mother," which is evidently what he did to screw up the timeline. And he's like, "What the hell is saving my mother going to do to the timeline?" He goes, "It's like a ripple effect. One little pebble will make everything spread out." So the Reverse Flash is, even though there is literally now a nuclear blast heading at them, He goes, I think I'm going to kill you anyway, just for the fun of it. By the way, you're not going to be able to fix this because I am absorbing as much speed force as I can to make sure that you can't use it. Hence the reason your powers are weakened. And then Batman pops up and shoots him in the back of the head. And the
just,
look, it's
I just
just
love as you
awesome.
look up.
He
You
just,
look.
and you
There's
see
a
the
hole in his head. You can see his brains through the hole.
If this were a live action movie, this would be an R-rated film. He dies, and Batman's like, hey, do me a favor. Gives the Flash a note. This is when you get back. Not if you get back, when you get back to your timeline. You give this to Bruce. Flash says, okay. He pockets it and tries to run and just kind of starts limping. And then realizes, look, I've got to go and stop myself. Never mind trying to get back to my own timeline.
At the same time, Wonder Woman is holding Arthur's body affectionately, even though they're about to die. She still, loves him, even though.
She's like, it's like, I love you to death. Come to me while we die. It's like, good thing there's no time for the things she looked like she might have been thinking about. Wow, necrophilia much. Yeah, no, literally everything is just being completely destroyed behind Barry, and he's limping along trying to run, and finally he's able to get up to 88 miles an hour, and well, he does leave a flame trail behind him. And, finds the DeLorean, hops in, takes off.
He finds a TARDIS. They are in London.
Yeah, there you go. And in all seriousness, he sees himself in the time stream. And he's like, oh my God, he's going to save Mom. I have to stop him from saving my mother. And as they get closer to the point in time that he needs to do this, you see the shot with his mother coming into the driveway. And the attacker actually begin to try and kill her.
Oh, we should also note that this attack that killed her was on her birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday. He manages to catch himself. He basically trips himself and is able to restore, quote unquote, the timeline. So everything is fairly back to normal. His mother is dead again, and he's talking to Iris there, and he's like, yeah, he goes, I think I figured out what my mom meant after all these years. Puts the flowers on the grave. And next is talking to Batman. Batman had previously been wearing a kind of grayish blue, slightly Adam West looking version of the Batman outfit. He's now wearing the more typical gray and black that we see him in all of the books now. Flash's suit is slightly different. It's still the red, but it's got some yellow streaks in it now, along with the lightning bolt. And I absolutely love this scene. He gives the note to Bruce. It's one of the few times that in front of anybody he'll take the cowl off. Batman was actually looking at this. He takes the cowl off and becomes Bruce. And he's reading this, and he actually tears up. He begins to cry, and he goes, you are one hell of a messenger, Flash. And then we get a shot of Flash just running through the city and on rooftops and everything. And then the credits roll. And then at the end of the credits, there's one more shot, which leads into the Justice League War movie. How do we know that that's what it's leading into? Because you see a shot of the Earth, and it pans up, and a giant boom tube opens up with the new 52 version of parademons flying out of the boom tube. That's why I took over at the end, because I kind of figured you hadn't seen that sequence.
What makes you say that?
Because you don't watch credits that often if it's an animated movie. Neither do I. I just, for some reason, forgot to shut it off.
Oh, you're right.
So now
that last part, I loved the animation when he was running all around the city.
Yeah.
The animation was done really well. It was like
You had some
3D,
3D
but not
CGI.
3D.
It looked kind of like a much better version of the MTV Spider-Man series.
Yes,
The cell shading.
but it was done really well. You normally don't see Flash jumping from rooftop to rooftop
But
either.
it works in this. What do you think about the movie as a whole? First of all, what were your thoughts?
As a whole, it had some problems in it, but I did like it.
Like I said, I really had a major problem with the way Superman was suddenly able to have his powers in that one scene. Other than that, I mean, it wasn't enough to make me dislike the movie.
My biggest problem, which I think is the biggest problem of the entire movie, is you see him run away. The next day he wakes up, everything's fine, or different rather. Everything is different. You don't see that he went back in time, or that he went. There was no
I actually
there's
like
no
that because
thought, huh?
I actually like that because the entire time it leads credence to his theory that it was Reverse Flash that did this, and he
But he
just
did.
lost his memory. He doesn't know why. Because as you remember, one thing we didn't mention is as the movie goes on, he is losing his memory of his own timeline.
As it progresses, as he stays in that timeline. But right at the front of it, he doesn't remember saving his mother or whatnot, or he just ran off and it just happened. There was no explanation of what had happened, no build up, no even saying that I need to save my mom. Boom, I got. He didn't even say that.
Looks like that opening sequence is what he was doing. We just don't see it. When he takes off and he's running and he hits that blue streak that we see at the end of the movie, that's what that blue was. That was him time traveling. We just don't realize it until the end of the movie. The whole point of this was to make you think that this was Captain Zoom or Reverse Flash pulling this crap out of him. That's why when he had that chance to get his ring, which that's I'm curious is how he got his ring.
Well, Batman
But he got the
actually
ring and he
said
put
that
his suit in it.
Batman had actually said that Reverse Flash put it on him and put the yellow suit in it to let him know that he had done, or that that
Again,
he was
it
there
leads to that
to mess with him.
right. Well, he also made sure that he went just slow enough when he saved Lois Lane during when she was trying to escape from the Amazons that he knew the Flash would see him. That other people would see that yellow streak. That's why he did it the way he did, because he very easily could have said, you know what, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna go so fast that nobody will notice.
Well, he did it because it's like Joker and Batman.
Exactly.
Joker messes with Batman just so he can,
Right,
just
and
because he can.
that's what he was doing in this one. So, but I think we're pretty much both in agreement that it was an excellent movie.
I give it a 4 out of 5.
That's about what I give it.
Like I
what
said, you had a few mistakes
What
in
did
it.
you think of the animation?
The animation was reminded me a lot of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, for some
Very
reason,
similar. It had dark shadows in it. To
I don't know why, but when I first started watching it, it wasn't working for me. I got used to it and I really liked it by the end. But at first, I found it kind of off-putting.
the only thing that was off-putting for me was Aquaman in the alternate timeline, where he had no neck. He was just a head on top of
Kind of look like
biceps.
Batista. Now, what do you think about the cast?
Love the cast. I mean, a lot of them were, a lot of veteran actors.
Oh yeah, he had
voice
a
actors.
lot of guys coming in.
Um,
I think Sam Daly did a good job as Superman for the few lines he had.
Speaking of which, folks, go out to YouTube and check out The Daily Show and watch him prep for that.
Yeah,
That's
and it's
DALY show on YouTube.
right, not Jon Stewart's The Daily Show. Tim Daly's The Daily Show.
You get to watch, Tim Daly, Brendan Routh, and Dean Cain prep, Sam Daly for his role as Superman.
Um, what did you think of the music that went on during the course of the music? Do you think it overpowered? Do you think it fit right in beautifully?
Believe it or not, this is one of the few DC movies that have come out lately where the music isn't as overpowering over the dialogue.
Yeah.
I like when I'm watching a movie, I prefer to hear the dialogue. The music might be great, but
You can't blame them for that. It's the mix of the DVDs or the Blu-rays. It's always been off for some
well,
reason.
that's why I downloaded the movie
Yeah.
this time too.
Same here. I will be buying it on Blu-ray though because I'm an extras junkie. I want to see the extras. I also want to see the special on what's going to be the next movie, which I believe is going to be Son of Batman,
Oh yes,
which is
because we
basically
need
going to be.
more Batman.
And that's what I was going to bring up. Is it was awesome to see a Flash movie. I like Batman. I like Superman. You have hundreds of characters in the DC universe. Please stop relying on just Batman and just
Damien,
Superman.
Damien's like, yeah, you're gonna laugh at me for saying this because I don't watch the show. Damien's like the bitch king on Game of Thrones.
If you say so.
Damien just does nothing but bitch, because he was raised by the League of Assassins. So he has no problem killing.
Yeah, no, Damien is nothing like any character in Game of Thrones because he's not that well written.
That's why they killed him off.
Yeah. Too bad they didn't give us the choice like they did with Jason Todd, though. I'd have called that 900 number.
God,
Get him,
killed.
get him
They've
now.
actually killed in the comics. They've killed every Robin with the exception of Tim.
They killed Dick?
Yeah, in the actually in the Injustice comics, they killed off Dick.
That's right. Well, again, that's alternate universe, though. I'm talking
Still.
about main universe.
And it was a horrible. It wasn't even a good death either.
Oh, it's a Captain Kirk type of death?
No, Damien tosses his stick at him. It hits Dick in the head, and he falls backward and snaps his neck on a rock, or he hits the back of his neck on a rock and breaks his neck.
Yeah, that's right
That's
up there
it.
with the bridge falling apart and falling on top of Captain Kirk as he falls.
The
Or
man who
worse yet,
spent-
if you go with the novel, getting shot in the back.
The man who spent his entire career on a bridge dies beneath one.
Yes. He was killed by the bridge of the Enterprise. Shut up.
But
But yeah,
We got-
definitely. If you like these movies, this is a definite one to pick up.
I will actually pick it up if I ever get any money. Of course, I'll probably end up I have to shell out $100 for a deductible for a new phone.
I can give you a bottle cap.
Oh,
I think I got a penny around here somewhere.
I think bottle caps only work in Fallout games.
I've got some dice,
All right.
and I think that's about it for this week.
Yes.
And one more time for the people who stuck with us, would you like to tell them where they can get a hold of us?
Well, if they didn't hear it the first time, why don't I? Fine.
Just do it. Dance monkey.
Just look up Wibbly-Pod. You can leave us an email at wobblypod@yahoo.com or at gmail.com. Our Facebook is Wibbly-Pod, and we are at Wibbly-Pod on YouTube, if you're watching this.
Yeah,
Lynn-
if you're watching this.
Again, people, tell us you hate us. Tell us you love us. Tell us where we need improvement.
Which is probably everywhere.
Tell us
but
that
still,
Joe
we
is
need to hear it.
dry. Tell them you need to see more me.
Right, tell them that you do not want to be around anymore. Gotcha. All right, folks. On that note, we will see you next time on the Wibbly-Wobbly-Geeky-Weekly podcast. I'm Joe.
And I'm Dave, and I am a leaf on the wind. Watch how I soar.
Don't make me find something and just stick you in the chest with it.
What?
Say goodbye, Dave.
Goodbye, Dave.
Good night, folks.